Hey everyone, Wyduck welcoming you to Game 3 of a Best of 5 series from the Kaspersky Arena September 2013 edition. And this time on Polar Night, we've got spawning at the south position. As the Red Zerg representing Team Liquid, we've got the Little One. And the Little One was able to tie up the series in the previous game 1-1 against his opponent spawning in the 12 o'clock position as the Blue Zerg representing Team Acer. We've got Nerchio. Now, what is interesting of note is that Nerchio did go for an 8 pull in the two previous games. And what is even more interesting is that in the first game he went for the 8 pull and it wasn't as successful as in the second game, but he lost the second game and won the first game. So it's a little bit, flipped. The results, it's kind of different. It's not what you would expect. But it doesn't look like Nerchio is going to be doing that this game. It looks like he is going to be going for a more standard build order, possibly hatchery first. And that's what TLO has been doing in the previous two games. And he was able to even it up, as I said, in the previous game. Now, what I want to see is whether or not Nerchio is going to be getting an earlier gas than TLO, because in the previous two games, TLO got an earlier gas in both games and was able to get Zergling speed and then had quite a bit of map control for a while before Nerchio was able to counter back with his own Zergling speed. And I really think Zergling speed is really, really important, especially in this matchup. And it looks like TLO is going to be getting an extractor earlier than his blue opponent. So Nerchio will be getting that gas later, I assume. And TLO will be getting a hatchery, too, it looks like, at his natural. The drone is just waiting in position. There we go. He's going to plop that down. At the same time, Nerchio is going for the exact same play. So very similar builds this game compared to the previous two games. And TLO has been doing well lately. And in a recent interview, let's take a look at this chat. Nerchio says, I want to do triple A pool, but it looks like you wouldn't fall for that. And he's pretty happy. TLO says, haha. Yeah, I was really, really curious if Nerchio was going to do that again. Now, obviously, by the time we were able to scout Nerchio's base, he wasn't going to do that. Now, the little one says, yeah, I'm not overthinking things as much anymore that I think. If he does it once, he won't do it again. And there are a lot of mind games, especially in high-level play between professional players, especially in longer series. Because you have to remember, in a best of 3, someone can pull the same tactic twice in a row. But is he going to do it 3 times in a row, 4 times in a row, like in a best of 7? And there are those sorts of mind games going on. I guess the most recent one I can think of is in the Korean OSL for Season 2 was when Maru was against Innovation in the semifinals, and Maru had very aggressive kind of rush tactics for 3 games in a row, and then the 4th game he went for a standard game, and he was able to sweep that series 4-0. So sometimes you're able to use these sorts of little differences in your play style, like whether or not you're going to proxy or whether or not you're going to rush to claim victory, and he was able to do that. Now, we do have TLO swearing just a little bit, as it looked like some Zerglings got into TLO's base. Now, Nerchio just says it's Gosu micro, you mean. Both players have pretty good micro. Now, it looks like TLO might be trying to go for a counterattack, but we do have Overlords well positioned in this side of the map, able to spot the Zerglings on the way to Nerchio's natural. He is going to put up a Spine Crawler immediately, but he needs those Zerglings to pop out soon. And I think once those Zerglings pop out, especially with that Queen as defense, I don't think these Zerglings are going to do very well. But there are so many Zerglings, and Zergling speed is already completed. We've got 17 Zerglings on the map for TLO. He's able to destroy the Spine Crawler. No cancel. The drones have been pulled off the line to defend. The Zerglings are constantly reinforcing and focusing down on these drones. And it looks like TLO is going to be bouncing back and forth. And now he's going to be focusing down on the drones again, able to get one more. And a battle between Zerglings is generally a battle between micro, because Zerglings are so fast that you have to micro them very well to do well. And TLO has built a small lead here. He has about a 4 supply advantage, and he has killed a few more units than Nerchio, but Nerchio is going for the counterattack. We've got about 12 Zerglings in this pack, moving across the map, heading straight for TLO's natural, And all he has is one queen and a few zerglings here. Now, with the spine crawlers being set up, once they complete, this attack will be easily thwarted. So Nerchio is going to retreat back to the center of the map. And possibly back to his base. Yes, he is going to be going back to his base. So end-to-end action very early on. Zergling on zerglings. And I don't mean that sexually. I just mean that they're clawing, biting each other to death. And it looks like Nerchio is going to have a good engagement here. He has a few more zerglings than TLO does. So TLO is going to retreat until he gets a better engagement. There we go. He gets a better surround on Nerchio's zerglings. Able to pick off a few more zerglings. But it looks like it is fairly even. And both players are just massing up zerglings. But if you take a look, it looks like Nerchio does have 27 zerglings to TLO's 10. So Nerchio does have a huge advantage here in zergling size. And instead, he's going to be getting 12 banelings. And banelings can knock down this wall of evolution chambers very quickly. One evolution chamber might go down. No, it is going to survive, at least temporarily. More spine crawlers are being set up behind this wall. But once the banelings come in, I don't think this wall of evolution chambers is going to do very well. And banelings just do so much damage to zerglings. Now, TL's only way to survive this, I think, is if he's able to survive this, he's got the Spire coming, is to keep that Spire hidden and then surprise Nerchio with a whole bunch of Mutalisks. The banelings are able to seep through and do significant damage to the remaining zerglings. And it looks like that Spire has been spotted as well. The zerglings are in the main base. Banelings do get a great connection on those drones. One more baneling bomb left, just trying to get in there. The last one was not that effective, but the zerglings are still in the main. And it looks like they are trying to reinforce through this natural, but the zerglings are going to be cut off because of all these spine crawlers. So TLO has been able to survive that attack. But what is most important for Nerchio is that he was able to see that Spire, I believe. Yes, he was able to see that Spire forming. And so Nerchio knows that air units will be coming soon to his base, assuming he clicked on that Spire while he was attacking. Now, there is a small chance he did not click on the Spire, but I doubt this is a spine crawler because most structures for the Zerg is a 3x2 structure, and this is a 2x2, so Nerchio should be able to figure that out. Now, TL is going for a counterattack in the main base of Nerchio's, but it looks like these Zerglings are not going to be able to survive the night. There's only 3 left here, and they're actually chased out of Nerchio's domain. But we do have 5 Mutalisks on the way from TLO, and I think this is how he's going to try and gain advantage in this game, because this is how he claimed victory in Game 2. He just had a lot of Mutalisks, and Nerchio didn't have that much anti-air, and so he wasn't really able to deal with it. Now, we do have an infestation pit coming. This is interesting, because the Mutalisks are already out. How many do we have here? We have 3 more in production. We have 5 already out. That'll bring that Mutalisk total to a grand total of 8 very soon. And the Mutalisks have been confirmed. The Zerglings have been able to spot it. So now it will be up to Nerchio's anti-air to see if he can deal with it. He is building a few Spore Crawlers. He's got one at the natural. But with those supplemental Zerglings, these Mutalisks should be able to wreak a lot of havoc on the Zergling line. But I don't think this is necessarily effective use of time and resource management for TLO. TLO is actually going to use his Mutalisks to try and run back. The Zerglings are looking for a big counterattack, possibly. But remember, Zerglings with Zergling speed are still much faster than Mutalisks. And it looks like there is a hole in the middle. This queen is going to be targeted down. It might not survive. It's already at 20 life. And now the surround is going to occur. The queen will be destroyed. And now TL is going to go back for a counterattack, able to pick off those Zerglings. If we take a look at resources lost, Nerchio has lost quite a bit compared to our red Zerg. So the Mutalisks will be flying in, but we've got 3 queens here from Nerchio, as well as a well-positioned Spore Crawler, actually 3. And 3 Spore Crawlers are going to end the attack from the Mutalisks. The Spore Crawlers just do so much damage. They do 45 a shot. So in 3 shots, the Mutalisks would go down, so TL does have to be very careful here. There's only 1 Spore Crawler in the main. Actually, there's 2. So TL is not going to be able to do too much damage here. These queens could fall back to the spores. 1 queen is going to fall. The Infestor tried to put down a fungal growth, not able to catch any Mutalisks. Nerchio says, really? I think that was, like, very unfortunate for him, trying to catch all those Mutalisks. The Spore Crawler is going to be able to pick off 1 Mutalisk, once again, Gosu Micro does come into play. So friendly banter between these two players. But TL is going to be in a tough position. He's flying over directly all over the infestors. But the infestors, if they get a good fungal growth, I think a lot of these Mulas would go down. But no fungal growths yet. And TLO is trying to get his third base up, but we do have quite a few Zerglings pecking away at it, and that's going to drain half of its life. So this is a good spot by Nerchio, able to use just a few Zerglings to do significant damage to this third base. Now, if TL is able to maintain map control and mine from that third base for a prolonged period of time, I think the game is really going to swing into TLO's favor. Now, in the adverse, if Nerchio is able to pick off this third hatchery, I think TL is going to be slightly behind. And now, it doesn't look like Nerchio is going to be able to do damage to it, but he is sending in a whole bunch of infestors underneath the ground. Now, if you're paying attention, you can see them, but TL is not able to spot them. If you take a look, there is actually a little spot in the ground. Yeah, you can see them moving. Yeah, you can see them moving across the map. Yeah, you see those little black lines? You can see them in TLO's vision, but it's really hard to spot. And it looks like a whole bunch of infested terrors are just about to join the party, and I don't think there's any way this hatchery is going to survive. That's a lot of infested terrans focusing down on this natural. The roaches are trying to come back here, as well as the mutalisks. They're going to fly directly over the infestors, but that hatchery is going to go kerplop immediately. And it looks like the roach warren might not survive either. The infested terrans are running out of time. Now, the upgrade for reconstitution will go down first, but the infested terrans did do significant damage, and now I think Nerchio is significantly ahead. He's done so much damage that he's actually almost evened out the resource loss tab. And now TLO only has 2 bases to Nerchio's 2, and Nerchio is getting a third one. And I think by losing a lot of those structures, TLO is reeling. Now he is trying to reinforce his pack of mutalisks with roaches, and I'm not sure how effective this is going to be. And also, I'm not sure why TLO is sending his overlords into a death mission. This overlord is probably not going to survive. These 2 queens, if they give pursuit, this overlord will be destroyed. There we go. It is going to pop. It looks like. There we are. It's a lot of innards on the ground. Now, this third hatchery from Nerchio is not going to survive, it looks like, as roaches are there trying to protect it, but roaches can't hit air. So that's not a very good deal for the roaches. But it looks like TL is going to be recollecting his mutalisks. We've got 18 here. But there are so many infestors from Nerchio. This is 15 infestors. I can't remember the last time I've seen 15 infestors so early in the game. And like I said, now the mutalisks are spread up, so if the fungal growths do go down, they're not going to be able to collect too many. But the mutalisks are bunching up now. A fungal growth is able to catch 6. Another fungal growth is able to catch the other half. And now these mutalisks looks like they're really in trouble here. Chain fungal for the 3rd time in a row. The 4th time in a row. These mutalisks are not going to survive. 5 fungal growths, and count them, excuse me. And all the mutalisks were picked off. And I think TL is really, really behind now. I'm not sure what he can do to get back, because the mutalisks were such a heavy investment mineral and gas-wise that if you don't do enough damage with them, you're basically hooped. And Nerchio is now really protecting his third. He's got creep tumors, he's got lots of queens and spore crawlers, and it'll be up to this pack of roaches to do some damage. Now, TL does have a slight advantage, about 9 more than Nerchio, but is this going to be enough? I think this is really do or die time for TL. He has to do significant damage here. Otherwise, he is not going to be able to get back into this game. Now, the infestors do fungal growth down these roaches, and TL is going to tap out while this engagement is going on. The engagement looked like it would have been pretty close, but with the fungal growths, I don't think TL would have pulled out ahead. So TL is going to tap out, and now we're going to have to head to Game 4 to see if Nerchio can finish it off and claim victory for the September 2013 Kaspersky Arena edition, or if TLO, excuse me, can force a Game 5.